Let's bring in retired two-star Marine Corps General Arnold Punara. He is the CEO of the Punara Group. General, good for you to join us this afternoon. Really appreciate your time. You probably heard David Asman a moment ago saying that American oil exports in the wake of the closure, the blockade of the Persian Gulf, are at an all-time high. That would probably make Iranian oil exports at an all-time low, and it's costing them money. Let's put it up on the screen. $435 million per day, $13 billion a month, and that is money that comes right out of the pocket of the Iranians who are trying to fund this war.
Yeah, well, John, great to be with you. If you're looking for my comment, I would say I enjoyed hearing the positive news on our oil exports as well as the lower taxes. And the big taxpayer today is just what you mentioned. It's Iran, because they are no longer able to export 3 million barrels of oil a day because they were trying to block the Straits of Hormuz. Our policy in the U.S. government for decades and decades and decades is freedom of navigation and keeping that strait open. And that's exactly what our United States military and Navy is doing today.
So President Trump has completely turned the tables on Iran. Iran thought that they had this big card to play, which was the global economy, just by closing off the Straits of Hormuz. The president has now shown the flip side of that to say, no, we're going to close off your economy through the Strait of Hormuz, and for everybody else, it's going to be open. So what effect do you think that will have on Iran vis-a-vis getting them back to the table?
Well, look, the other thing that I want to point out, and you covered it on your program many times, is the president has given our negotiators, and I'm sure they're going back to the table, like he said, a very strong hand to play. And that's because not only is he blocking their oil exports, but he's taking out their nuclear ambition, their nuclear program. And that also has been the policy of the U.S. government for decades and decades. And he's the only president that's actually put that in force. And Sandra mentioned a comment that, short-term pain for long-term gain. I can tell you, none of us like paying the higher gasoline prices, but I will tell you that if Iran got a nuclear weapon, the fanatic Ayatollahs, they would use it. Lower Manhattan, Washington, D.C., San Francisco Harbor, and the devastating effects on our economy would be 1,000 million times worse than anything related to gas prices.
I thought what was really interesting, and obviously somebody's urgently trying to get in touch with you there, General, is that, Iran has been so vociferous on X and other social media platforms in their belligerence and their taunting, and even up to the strait being closed by the U.S. Navy. They were saying, well, if you thought that $4 and $5 a gallon gasoline is bad, just wait. You're going to be longing for those days. They have been uncharacteristically quiet over the last couple of days. Gallup hasn't been saying anything. Iraqchi hasn't been saying anything. What do you attribute that to?
John, they're in a box. They have no cards to play. President Trump has all the cards. They have no access to get their oil out in a major port except through Hormuz. They have no cross-country pipeline. They've got the Jazz pipeline, but they do 2 million out of Hormuz barrels a day. They can only do a couple of 100,000 there. That's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. Their military has been devastated. Their nuclear ambitions have been, reduced. And I think the president is correct, keeping our military focused on making sure they can't translate their enriched uranium or ever build a nuclear weapon. Yeah. So I think the president has put Iran in a box that they can't get out of unless they negotiate and bring out a peace that we've never had in the Middle East for decades.
Well, we just got the 2-minute warning. The White House briefing Caroline Leavitt, the Secretary Scott Bessent, and the Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler will be joining her this afternoon. I wanted to ask you about this, and this was whether or not China is providing weapons to Iran. This was the president with Maria Bartiromo this morning.
I don't think it does. I mean, he's somebody that needs oil. We don't. He's somebody I get along with very well. He just wrote me a beautiful letter.
He wrote you a letter?
Yeah. He did. He responded to a letter that I wrote because I had heard that China is giving weapons to, you're seeing it all over the place, to Iran, that China is giving weapons. Did he say he's
giving them?
Yeah, and I wrote him a letter asking him not to do that. And he wrote me a letter saying that essentially he's not doing that.
So China does have a lot of vested interest in what the U.S. is doing now because they get the bulk of their oil from Iran, and it has to go through the Strait of Hormuz. But this idea that China might be supplying weapons to Iran, the president wants to make sure that's not happening. Do we believe Xi Jinping?
Well, I would say, John, the president took the correct action in addressing this with China at the highest levels and the response. And I don't have access to the highest levels of intelligence, but the president has made a pretty clear statement about the situation. I would go back, though, to what Ronald Reagan used to always say about the Soviet Union: trust but verify. Iran has definitely provided weapons to Iran in the past. They certainly are trying to get a foothold in Saudi Arabia and with our allies by selling them weapons. So I would say trust but verify, but I would take the president at his word.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see if that indeed is the case. That big meeting coming up within the next month, the president and Xi Jinping in Beijing. General, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Always a privilege.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.